Hi Gemini, welcome to the Animals Magic Shop. I'm Lisa with your weekly animal spirit message for April 10th through the 17th, 2023. And this is a one-card reading, but your animal this week may have multiple messages for you. Okay, let's get started. Animal spirits and guides, what would you like Gemini to know this week? This is for Gemini, please. Okay, Gemini, you have Moose. And Moose's main message to most, if not all of you, is to have a little bit more self-esteem this week, Gemini. Well, not just this week, but every week. But starting this week, I'm getting that a lot of you may be feeling that you are not as good as others, or perhaps somebody may be making you feel that you're not good enough. And this is a week to start to change that up a little bit, Gemini. So when you speak to yourself in your head, first of all, Moose is cautioning you to use only positive words about yourself and give yourself only positive messages. So in other words, instead of thinking to yourself, well, gee, I always fail when I try something new, or I'm not getting anywhere, or I'll never make anything of myself, or I'm not good enough, or gifted enough, or beautiful enough, or handsome enough, or strong enough, Gemini, Moose is saying to start to change that thought process. And also when you speak to yourself of others, don't put yourself down. Now, this isn't to say that all of you do this, but it's coming up as a message to be given to all of you to caution you against doing anything negative. Sometimes the energies around us are more conducive to manifesting what it is that we are saying and speaking and thinking. And this is such a week for you, Gemini. Lucky you. So you have to be careful to guard your thoughts and your speech. Now, if somebody is speaking down at you and making you feel that you're a piece of dirt, or you're less than smart or wonderful, or if anybody's putting you down, Gemini, don't allow it. There's no need to brag about your gifts or your accomplishments, but on the other hand, don't let anybody do anything to minimize the different things that you have accomplished and achieved in your lifetime. And really, anybody who's got through the year 2020 and beyond deserves a pat on the back, and that is exactly what you're getting from Moose, Gemini, is a big pat on the back and a big thumbs up. Moose is wanting you to know that you're an awesome person. You're doing a great job, to keep going, and don't let anybody put you down. Now, another message for some of you has to do with your psychic abilities. And those are evidenced by the moose's antlers, which are considered to be antenna, reaching into the spiritual realm. So for those of you who are unaware of your spiritual abilities, your psychic abilities, your connection with the other worlds, Moose is asking you to take a look at the evidence of those gifts this week, Gemini. And this may not apply to all of you, but I'm getting that it applies to a great many of you. You do have gifts and abilities that perhaps you haven't been recognizing. So for instance, if you know who's calling on the phone when it rings, before you look at your caller ID on your phone, or if you have a feeling that something is going to happen and it does, or if you are able to finish other people's sentences, or if you're picking up on other people's thoughts. And this also has to do with your connection with wildlife too. Some of you may be very telepathically connected with wildlife or your pets, your cat, your dog, your rabbit, your horse. So Moose is asking you to pay attention to those. Maybe you just need a little bit of proof that you do have these abilities, and if you do, Moose is encouraging you to develop them and use them. Now, for others of you who may not be inclined or feel comfortable using your psychic abilities, maybe you know that you have them, but you have been kind of sweeping them under the rug or minimizing them, or maybe you're even a little afraid of them. It could be that your spiritual upbringing or your spiritual leaders frown on that type of gift. Some spiritual leaders prefer that you always go through them to connect with the divine. And Moose is telling you, Gemini, that that's not necessary. You don't need any go-betweens. You have the ability to make these connections yourself and trust them, and trust your gut, and trust your inner knowing. So those are your messages for this week, Gemini. A pretty positive card to get. You're getting a pat on the back for being a fabulous human being, and also a heads up to recognize your psychic abilities, develop them, nurture them, and use them to your benefit and also to benefit others. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye, Gemini.